I do want to mention the other op-ed that Lauren and I have been trying to place, and it's a public service announcement more than anything else. As you watch the polling now getting even tighter between now Trump and Kamala Harris. So you have two sets of candidates, and the tightness of the races in a number of places is so worrisome. And against that backdrop, you still have Trump and a lot of Republicans, setting up the argument that this is not going to be a fair election, that it's, if he loses, it's going to have to be contested because, of course, it's not going to be fair. And I mean, obviously, some Republicans have walked away from that and said, no, we're not going down that road again. If the courts say that that the elections were fair, then it was fair. But you have a lot of people who are setting up we're going to have a problem here. Trump is going to fight. You can determine whether or not fight is actual violence or anything else, but that's where we're going. And looking at a lot of the polls, whether it's Gallup or Pew and some of the other research institutes, Carnegie and others, where they have looked at how people believe in their own vote. It's interesting where you have some 80 something percent, 82, 88, I can't remember the exact number, of people believe in the validity of their own vote. And yet only 22% believe in the validity of all the votes. How is that? How does that work? So you don't think anybody tampered with your vote, but they must have tampered with somebody else's. That's not logical. But what you do have is people believing in the integrity of their vote. And so attacking the integrity of that vote is not a good thing. So what we're saying is, it's the candidates really, and it's the political leaderships who are in this place of being able to persuade people either the vote was real or it wasn't, versus people actually genuinely believing it's real. That means you are in a position of greater and disproportionate responsibility. And with that, I think, comes the accountability to the public to tell us now, what are the metrics? What are the indicators you're going to be tracking on election day and afterward to tell you that the vote was credible or not? What is it you're going to point to? What are you going to be looking for? And to give us that information now, transparently, openly. Because if you do, then we can all track it and we're all coming away with the same conclusion. And it's transparent, like in a democracy, it should be. It's transparent. You've created a social contract with the people. And then if those indicators of a corrupt election are not met, then you have to say the election was free and fair and credible and deal with whatever the results were. The only reason you would not do that right now, the only reason you would be afraid to do that right now is if you're already planning to cheat or you're already planning to reject the elections no matter what if you lose. Either candidate, if you are not willing to put on the table right now, these are the markers of an invalid election to us. These are the markers of a valid election to us. Show them to the courts. Say the courts, have courts ahead of time say, yep, if we see these would be valid. If we saw this, yes, we would probably not. I mean, obviously, judges are not going to make a decision based on theory, but they can give their opinion, right? So can election monitors from the UN and around the world. I mean, we send election monitors overseas to determine what's free and fair. We can use that. We can leverage that. If we decide other people's elections are free and fair, then we should be able to decide our own are free and fair. I mean, we should have the metrics, the indicators to know and to track. So that's the point. If we want to not have violence after the elections, if we want to actually move forward with a single president, whoever it is, after the elections, and be the United States of America after the elections, then we need them now to step up and commit to what those markers are.